Today's class, if you remember on Friday, I told you that there were three different types of factorisation. We did the first type, which is highest common factor, and I just did the homework corrections for that. But as part of that, there was like a secondary part, grouping. So you're still using the same skills as in the same highest common factor skills, but it's just a slightly different setup in terms of the question. So I'm calling it group 1A, okay? We're still doing the first set, the highest common factor set. It's just, you can see here, the homework, the stuff we did on Friday and the homework questions have 2 terms. This has 4 terms, so it's like 2 twos, okay? So I'll show you how to do it. Like I said, you pretty much know anyway. So 12ax plus 3bx plus 8ay plus 2by. So what you do is you group them. So you take these as one group of a highest common factor, and then you take this as the second group. So now you've split them into your 2 twos, okay? Exactly the same as what we did for homework. So is there something common between 12 and 3? What is the highest common factor of 12 and 3? It's 3. Is there a common letter? So we've ax and we've bx, so the common letter is x. Once I have my highest common factor, I open a bracket, and then I divide this by the highest common factor, and I divide this by the highest common factor. Okay? So 12 divided by 3 is 4. The x's cancel, and I'm left with a. The sign here is plus. 3 divided by 3 is 1. The x's cancel, and I have b. So that's the first bit done. So now we move over to the pink bracket. Okay, so common factor between 2 and 8, they're both positive, so it's a common factor between plus 2 and plus 8. The highest common factor there is going to be positive 2. Is there a common letter? AY and BY, there is Y. And then we open up our bracket. Once I know what my highest common factor is, I divide by it, so 2y and 2y. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and these cancel, leaving me with a. Sign in the middle here is a plus. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and these cancel, so I've got b. Now, you are essentially finished. But the first thing, but you must check that this bracket exactly matches this bracket. Okay? If not, then you have to go back and make adjustments in the first line. Okay? Now, in this case, they do match perfectly. So what you do is you write down the brackets, and then you write down the highest common factors. Okay? So first I write down that matching bracket, which is 4a plus 1b. And then I write down the highest common factors, which was 3x and plus 2y. Okay? And that there is your answer. Okay? Try another one. So I can see by looking at this, the minuses are going to make a difference. Okay? So I'll show you what you do with minuses. Okay? So I have 4a squared plus 6ab minus 10ac minus 15bc. Pair them up. So here's going to be my first group, and here is going to be my next group. Right. So 4 and 6, the highest common factor is 2. Here I have 2 a's, and here I have an AB, so I do have a common A. Open up my bracket and divide by the highest common factor. Okay, so 4 divided by 2 is 2, and this A will cancel with one of the A's on top, leaving an A behind. Plus, actually, let me just not do that for a second. Okay. So I have a plus 6 divided by a 2, which is plus 3. the A divided by the A, or sorry, yeah, the A divided by the A cancels, leaving the B over. Now, over here. Okay, so I have a minus 10 and a minus 15. So the highest common factor there is minus 5. Yeah. And then I have AC and BC. So the common letter is going to be C. So once I have my highest common factor, I open up my bracket and I divide by the highest common factor, which is minus 5C. So minus 10 divided by minus 5. The signs are the same, which means the answer is positive. 10 divided by 5 is 2. The C's will cancel and I'm left with the A. Here, it's a minus and a minus been divided again, so the signs are the same. So again, that's positive. 15 divided by 5 is 3. The C cancels the C and I'm left with B. Right? I should be done, but I must do that check, remember? So 2A plus 3B and 2A plus 3B. Remember that there is an invisible plus in front of this. So plus 2A plus 3B plus 2A plus 3B. They match perfectly. So I write down the matching bracket and I write down the highest common factors. All right. We'll have a look at this last one just because I think the signs are a complete mess in the last one, and that's like the only way these are hard is because of the signs. Sometimes the signs can make them very tricky. Right, so we have P, Q minus 1 plus P. Ugh. Right, so let's pair them to our groups. So there's your first group and there's your second group. Yeah, so there's a load of invisible ones here. So there's an invisible one here and an invisible one here. Okay, so common factor in terms of in terms of numbers is 1, and then I have PQ and I have Q, so that's going to be Q as a number. Bracket it out, divide by 1 Q, divide by 1 Q. Okay, so 1 divided by 1 is 1. The Q's cancel, and I've got my P left. Here I have minus 1 divided by 1. So this has an invisible plus here. The signs are different, which means I'm going to get a minus. 1 divided by 1 is 1, and the Q's cancel out. Okay, so I have an invisible 1 here. So I have minus 1 and plus 1p. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because do you go with a minus 1 as the common factor, or do you go with a plus 1 as the common factor? Okay, like you'll be able to figure it out. So sorry, I'm trying to get this wrong on purpose. Okay, so let's go with let's go with a plus 1. We know it's 1, we just don't know if it's minus or plus. And there's no common letter because this doesn't have any letter. So we're going with plus 1 as our common factor. So bracket and divide by plus 1, divide by plus 1. Okay, so I'm getting it right. Anyway, so minus and plus are different, so the answer is minus. 1 divided by 1 is 1. Here I have a plus and a plus, so the signs are the same, so that's plus. And 1 divided by 1 is 1, and P. Okay, so let's have a look and see if the brackets match exactly. So here I have 1p minus 1, and here I have minus 1 plus 1p. Right, look at what you have. Okay, so this has an invisible plus. So this here, just highlight it out, is a plus 1p. Do I have a plus 1p here? Yes, I do. So they match. Here I have a negative 1, and here I have a negative 1, so they match. It does not matter that they're not in the same order. What matters is their actual. So it's like having 3 plus 2 and having 2 plus 3. Oh God, sorry. 3, the 2 matches the 2 and the 3 matches the 3. They are the exact same thing. Okay, so the order doesn't matter. It's about looking at the individual terms and seeing if they matched. Now, had I have chosen the minus one there, they wouldn't have matched. In which case, I would have just had to literally go back a step and go, okay, well, obviously I was supposed to go plus one. So when you have it like this, where you know the common factor in terms of the number is a 1, but you're not sure about the sign because one's a minus and one's a plus. So basically your two options for highest common factor there are either minus 1 or plus 1. I went with the plus 1 and it worked, everything matched. Had I have gone with the minus 1, these would not have matched these over here. In which case I just would have gone, okay, so obviously this didn't work, minus 1 didn't work, so go back to plus 1. You just redo it, okay? So I know that they match, so I write down the matching bracket, which is 1p minus 1, and the highest common factors is 1q plus 1. Okay, so that last one there, tricky enough. Obviously, if they're all pluses, it's all kind of happy and it's grand. And even if both of them are minuses, there's not really a, you're like, grand, I know the common factor is a minus 5. It's when you're not sure. Now, I did try to get that wrong so I could show you, but I ended up getting it right by accident. This is also a very important idea, that it doesn't matter if they're swapped around. Okay, so there's quite a bit in that. So take down those notes and I'll give you a bit of homework.